Welcome to Twisted Liquid RC Boats. This episode of Twisted Liquid RC Boats is proudly brought to you by Blazer Marine. Interested in building an RC hydroplane? Check out blazermarine.com. Also, this episode is proudly brought to you by Slycatracing. For all of your RC boat needs, slycatracing.com. Good day, everybody, and welcome back to Twisted Liquid RC Boats and the continuation in our Blazer Marine Lauterbach Thunderbolt build. Guys, we're going to get right to work again today in episode 3 here, and we're going to continue on finishing our laminating process. Right now, we are doing our second engine rail in the boat. This one here is for the port side of the boat. It's the long one that runs the full length of the hull. The other one is actually smaller because it goes to the radio box in the hull of the boat. Like I told you in episode 2, when we were doing our first bit of laminating, before you get ready to apply the epoxy, make sure you orientate the parts well. Make sure you know exactly that you have them in the right position, because it is very easy to make a simple mistake here and attach these pieces to the wrong side of your engine rails. The smaller pieces that you are laminating on must be to the outside edges of your engine rails. If you had a center line running down the middle of the boat, middle of the hull, these outside pieces will be on the outside from your center line. Keep that in your mind, because it is easy to make a simple mistake and do it wrong. So orientate the parts. I ask you, if you build this boat and you take this procedure on, make sure that you are gluing it or epoxying it together correctly, because you don't want to do this work, let it all cure, and then figure out that you've got something done wrong that you have to reverse. So look at the pieces, figure out the way that they sit in the hull and how it goes together. Try and think a couple steps ahead of yourself. Don't just rush into it. Take your time. And if you do, you can figure it out very easy. Now, this boat did not come with an instruction manual in the box. And there is instructions available online on the Blazer Marine website. And it's a very detailed manual, and I've studied it 3 or 4 times now. And I'm simply following the way that Blazer Marine suggests you put this boat together. Their approach to it, I guess we'll say, their steps in a sequence like they would do it. But I am adapting techniques that I know that work for me. And those techniques that work for me, I'm going to use them. And this laminating I'm doing here right now is a prime example of that. I know this technique works, so I'm going to use it. Now, once again today, guys, I'm clamping the pieces to the MDF instead of just using traditional binder clamps to do this. And the reason I said, like before in episode 2 when we started this laminating work, I want to make sure that I keep these pieces perfectly flat, perfectly level, and dead even while they're curing. Now, I'm doing nothing no different than when I done the first engine rail. I'm using the MDF as a little bit of a guide to make sure the pieces are perfect. rounded edge towards the transom of the boat, large slot towards the bow of the boat. Make sure your holes are aligned perfectly. Make sure your slots are aligned perfectly. If these pieces were standing in the hull now, they would be like so. Our pieces are on the outside like we need them from the center line of the boat. So now it's just merely a process of getting this perfectly in alignment, making sure it's exactly where you want it. And once you know you have it exactly where you want it, start to add some pressure to it by clamping it. I'll try and clamp things evenly if I do it. I know it might seem being a little bit fussy, but I'll try and keep it clamped even. Pay attention that the part doesn't slide. The epoxy can let the part slide a little as you're clamping it. Just do it lightly at first. That way, if you need to wiggle it or move it in any way, you can. Rub your finger around the edge of it. Make sure it's even, dead even, everywhere you have an edge. And you have it aligned perfectly. I don't mind taking a minute to do this, because like I say, the part can wiggle just a little bit right now. And now is the time to move it if you're going to. Because once that cures, you're not going to move it again. And putting it to the MDF is a great suggestion for keeping everything level, flat, and true, making the construction of our boat much easier for us down the road. Like I said, it's a different procedure than just using binder clamps to do it. Might take just a little more effort doing it this way, but I don't mind because I'm in no rush, and I think it's going to give me great results, and I'll have all my laminating done and be ready to get my jig and everything put together. So guys, that's our second engine rail sitting ready to cure and clamped. I may add a couple additional clamps to that just to make sure it doesn't move. I'm going to leave it and give it ample time to cure. Before we end today's episode, I'm going to quickly get some laser burn removed on our dovetail joint we have here on our bow pieces. And I guess we'll mix up a small batch of G-Flex and we'll get our bow put together while we're at it. So that's our second engine rail done with our Blazer Marine Lauterbach. Okay guys, before we end today's episode, we might as well get another quick step and some assembly work we got to get done. We have a dovetail joint on two of our bow pieces. What I mean by a dovetail joint is two triangular slots that come together like so, as you can see. So, the shape of a tail of a bird is why they call them dovetail joints. I have some West Systems G-Flex mixed up here in a cup. I have all of the laser burn removed from both sides on this piece. So I'm slowly going to take my time here. And I'm going to coat both pieces really well a couple times. I'm going to bring them together on the wax paper that I have on my working surface. I have a way figured out that I'm going to clamp them. And I'm going to put them together and assemble them. Hold them flat to the MDF like I've been doing with the laminating work we've been doing so far. I've researched this boat a lot, guys. There's no bend or curve to these pieces when they're installed. They go in flat. As I told you in the start of this episode, there is no assembly manual with this boat when you buy it, but there is a very detailed manual for assembly on the Blazer Marine website, and you should familiarize yourself with it if you are going assembling this boat. Get a good coating on this. Some of it is going to soak in as you're applying it. But your big key here now is to get it assembled. Two pieces together. Keep them nice and flat. If any epoxy does bleed through and go onto the wax paper, the parts will release themselves very easily from that. And like I say, I've got a little bit of a unique way here now I'm going to show you in a minute of clamping this. Figured out, but it works very well. And once we get a good coating on this, we will bring the two pieces together and we'll clamp them and we'll let them cure. And that'll be another little piece we have done. We do have a little bit more laminating to do with bulkhead number 4 in the boat. We have an additional piece we have to laminate onto that. Pretty sure we've got a couple side pieces we got to bring together. So I'm going to try and get all of the major laminating work done. I'm going to cut the wood this week for the jig for this boat, so I can get a jig built in front of you guys and do an episode on that. I've been using artist brushes again, guys. I'm picking them up at my dollar store, local dollar store here where I live to. Cheap, work great, find them better than acid brushes, and that's what makes it great to use them. Now guys, you can simply bring the pieces together on the wax paper, get a good alignment on them, make sure they're dead even as you're doing it, like anything we've been doing in the laminating process. Here's my plan for keeping this together and held. I'm going to take a small slide clamp like so, lay it on its side, and I'm just going to bring a light pressure to bring the two pieces together. That way they can't separate. Now I'd like to keep them really nice and flat and level to the MDF, so I can reach in over the engine rail that I still got curing. I can clamp it right there. I can clamp it right here. That holds the two pieces down well in the nose. Keeps everything nice and flat on the joint we're epoxying together. Make sure your part is dead even like you want it, guys. Now I came up with just a little trick of laying my level across right here. The bubble will actually tell me if I'm keeping everything perfect. And I'm merely going to clamp it right here with a clamp, because the level is acting as a straight edge. Apply light pressure right here. It's right across the length of wood. Everything is sitting nice and flat like we want it. And now I'm merely going to use my West Systems epoxy kit to weigh it down on this side so that the level can't move. It's hard to clamp it right there. Quick check for deflection in any way. None. Everything is sitting flat. Now it's time to let our two bow pieces cure, because we have our dovetail joint done. Now guys, I've been just trying to keep all the pieces nice and level and flat and good to work with as I'm building the few pieces you've seen me do so far. And everything has came out great so far. I don't know if you notice when it sits on the MDF, it's sitting super flat, nothing is deflection in it, no warping in it, it's nice and straight. It's going to make doing assembly easier down the road. And all these tiny little steps that you can get done, it's one less step that you got to do in your build. Like I say, we do have a laminating job we've got to do on bulkhead 4 yet. I have to make sure on the orientation of the parts. But we're moving along with our Blazer Marine Lauterbach build slowly but surely. Get our jig cut and get it assembled this week. We'll get a really good dry fit done once we've got most of our laminating definitely cured and we know we're moving forward with our project. I can't thank you guys enough for all of your channel support. I truly appreciate it. Twisted Liquid RC Boats is a tiny little YouTube channel, but for some reason here lately it's constantly growing. And it's all because of you guys, the viewer. So, showing gratitude to everyone like I like to do, I can't say thank you to all you guys enough. And keep watching, guys, because I'm going to catch you in the next episode, and I'm going to keep busy. You got lots to look forward to here on the channel this summer. So take care of yourself, and have yourself a really good day. Thanks for watching, everyone. Feel free to like and subscribe. Take care, and stay safe.